9 cats, 3 litter boxes, and 3 months of, let's just call it, intense field testing. Today I'm putting the homerunpet CS106, Catlink Pro Ultra, and Neakasa M1 head to head, not in a lab, but in my actual home with my crew of cats. Because marketing claims are cute, but my cats are not here to play nice. The goal is simple: figure out which one truly makes life easier for both you and your cats, without any brand bias. Every task you will see is from real use over weeks of scooping, cleaning, and yes, dealing with occasional cat protests. So let's get into it. Let's take a closer look at the physical design of these 3 litter boxes, what they look like, how they are built, and how easy they are for your cats to use. Starting with homerunpet. This is by far the largest and heaviest of the 3, but it also have the biggest litter capacity. Every panel and seam fits really snugly. You can see and feel the quality in the details. Despite its size, the 2 small handles on the sides make it easy to lift and move when you need to clean it. For our cats, including the older ones, getting in and out is smooth, and the box stays stable even when multiple cats hop in at the same time. Next up, the Catlink Pro Ultra. On paper, it looks pretty spacious, but inside it feels slightly tighter. Our heaviest cat, about 7.5 kilograms, has to stretch his head a bit outside when using it, but he still seems to enjoy it. One thing I found out is that the materials, especially the top lid, are thinner than the homerunpet. That makes the lid flex a bit when you handle it. And putting it back on takes some care to line up correctly. Since you will be removing and replacing the lid regularly for cleaning, this is something worth noting. Compare side to side with the homerunpet, the fit and feel just isn't as precise. Finally, the Neakasa M1. This one is compact and lightweight, so it's really easy to fit into tighter spaces. But in terms of design, it's basically open style litter box, unlike the other 2 which are enclosed. From a cat behavior standpoint, many cats actually prefer that kind of open setup. Funny thing is, at my place, it's the opposite. My cats consistently go for the enclosed ones, probably just because that's what they are used to. Now the downside of being open is litter checking, and here is pretty bad. You can literally see the pieces scattered on the litter mat and even more around it on the floor. On build quality, I would say this one feels the least precise out of the 3. The materials themselves are fine, but the way the panels fit together isn't tight. You will notice small gaps in a few spots, and while it doesn't stop it from working, it does skip off the sense that it's not as well put together as the others, especially for the price. Let's break down how these 3 stack up when it comes to the key features. I will start with the part that I care about the most: safety. Pretty much all of the reported accidents with auto litter boxes come from cats getting caught during rotation, even fatally. So here's my conclusion up front. In terms of safety, I will rank them from top to bottom: homerunpet, Catlink, and Neakasa. Both homerunpet and Neakasa use a front to back or y-axis rotation to separate the clumps into the waste bin. Catlink is different. It rotates side to side. Most of the safety issues you hear about with auto litter boxes come from the cheaper y-axis models on Amazon. So when I first started using the homerunpet, I was extra cautious. Even set up a camera to keep an eye on it. I literally sat there watching it on a security cam for days. But after using that for 2 months, it's the one I trust the most. Why? First, the weight sensor is really sensitive. Even if my cat just rests a paw on it, the cleaning stops. Second, there's a radar sensor right on the front. It's so sensitive that it will even pause if a cat just walks by. That can make cleaning take longer, but I would rather have overkill on safety. You can also take that sensitivity in the app. Most importantly, there are 2 anti-pinch panels at the entries. That's a physical safeguard. No matter what happens with the software, it always leaves a gap so a cat cannot get trapped. That's the part that actually reassures me the most. Catlink, with its side-to-side rotation, is naturally less risky in terms of trapping a cat. It also has weights and radar sensors, plus pinch detection inside the drum. The cleaning itself works fine. I haven't had major issues. The only weird thing is sometimes when it rotates to a certain point, a couple of my cats try to fish clumps out and play with them. Not ideal, but maybe that's just my troublemakers. Safety wise, my only complaint is that the weight sensor feels a bit slow to react. It can take a second or two to stop after a cat jumps on. The radar also seems weaker, maybe because the step in front blocks part of the signal. One extra thing, this is the only box with built-in camera. It doesn't add to safety features, but it does give you snapshots of your cat using the box, which some people might find entertaining. Now, Neakasa, which also use front to back rotation, this is the one I feel less comfortable with. It has both radar and weight sensors, and the company advertised that it never fully closed during cleaning. But unlike homerunpet, it doesn't have those physical anti-pinch panels. And there has been a reported fatal accident with this model. I linked the case in the description if you want to see details. Most likely it's a very rare situation, and Neakasa did handle that quickly and responsibly. But the thing is, when you have seen that report, it just kind of stays in the back of your mind. And it definitely leaves a question mark in your head, especially if you're out of the house a lot. As for the odor control, all three are solid here. Since clumps and waste are sealed in the bin, my small, not very well ventilated room doesn't smell at all, which is already a huge upgrade over a regular litter box. Litter compatibility. This is something a lot of people ask. Can you keep using your favorite litter? homerunpet is the most versatile. It comes with two different sieve sizes, so whether it's fine clumping clay or long strip tofu litter, both work well. Catlink also have two sieve options, but the larger one doesn't handle tofu litter as neatly and ends up wasting more of it. Neakasa only have one sieve size, and in my testing, it really works best with fine grain litter. All three bins are around 11 to 13 liters. For my night cats across 3 boxes, that means empty once a week. homerunpet has a nice touch here. It has 2 bins, one for clumps, one for when you need to empty the entire drum. Plus, they added a small slot to store trash bags right inside, which is a small but handy detail. For cleaning, it's also easier to disassemble and put back together, and the big openings make wiping down or washing super straightforward. The only extra step is the dry-proof liner at the bottom. If you want a deep cleaning, you will need to take it out and wash it separately. You can also soak the whole drum, but make sure it's completely dry before you add litter again. Otherwise, moisture plus strong clumping litter can leave residue. That's exactly what happened to me. Catlink is similar in ease of disassemble, though putting it back together can be a bit fiddly. The interior uses a thick rubber or silicone base, same as Neakasa, which is nice because it's easy to wash. But the downside is that cats can scratch or bite it, might have black marks, which don't affect function but unpretty. All three come with an app, night mode, and real-time notifications. In day-to-day use, homerunpet feels the most stable and responsive. Catlink also includes a built-in camera. It doesn't tie into safety, but it does capture snapshot in the app, which some people might like. One standout on the homerunpet is the auto refill feature. It has a separate container for fresh litter and automatically tops it up when levels get low. And since a lot of people are probably wondering about the Litter Robot 4, unfortunately I don't have one myself, but I did get some footage from a friend so you can see it for reference. Since I haven't personally used it, I would just point out a few things that stand out. First, in terms of footprint, it's actually smaller than all 3 boxes I've shown so far. But the trade-off is that the chamber inside is also the smallest, which can feel cramped if you got larger cats. Design-wise, it's kinda like a mix between Catlink and Neakasa. It uses a side-to-side rotation. From the video though, that opening doesn't look as smooth as Neakasa's, and I would expect it to have the same issue with litter tracking. On the plus side, the software seems a bit more refined, and it also supports auto refill, though you will need to buy the refill module separately. So up to this point, everything I've shared is just from my own testing and experience. but I also wanted to cross-check with what other cat owners are saying online. So I pull out the most common complaints, questions, and positive reviews for each of these 3 litter boxes, and I will walk you through whether they hold up in my experience. Let's start with the Catlink. For Catlink, one of the biggest complaints is that the rubber liner inside can get damaged over time. And yeah, that's true. It's not the most durable material, but on the flip side, it makes cleaning a lot easier. Whether it holds up really depends on your cat's scratching habits. Another common question, can you turn off the camera? The answer is yes, but honestly, if privacy is a big concern for you, I would say just go for the version without a camera. As for the positives, a lot of people prize the health monitoring feature, and it's good, but to be fair, most decent small litter boxes now can track based on your cat's weight, so it's useful but not exactly groundbreaking. Moving on to the home run pad, one top complaint I found is about the footprint. It's definitely the largest of the 3, but since the interior space is also the biggest, I don't think that's a huge drawback. Personally, my own complaint is with their litter step. There's a gap where litter falls into and it shifts around too easily. Compared to that, Catlink's step feels way more solid. Honestly, if you're buying the home run pad, I would recommend pairing it with Catlink's step instead. The most common question here is how do you deep clean it? The drum pops out completely, so you can just hose it down like a regular litter box. And for the parts you can remove, I just use alcohol wipes. On the positive side, the chamber size is unbeatable. When I first set it up, my cats was so curious that 2 of them actually use it at the same time. So yeah, plenty of space. Finally, the Neakasa M1. This one is got a bit of baggage. Early units have a safety issue where the positioning magnet could fall off, making the drum over-rotate and in some cases even injure cats. The company said it's fixes with hardware and firmware updates, and I haven't seen any problems with my unit, but I get why people still worry. It's the kind of thing you don't easily forget. The other big complaint is litter tracking. Being open top is pretty bad. You will want a large litter mat if you're using this one. The most common question is the obvious one, has the safety issue really been fixed? All I can say is I haven't had that problem myself. And on the positive side, the open design does have its fans. Cats get more airflow, less of that boxing feeling, and they usually adapt faster. A lot of owners report their cats actually preferred it over closed designs. These 3 litter boxes were sent to me by the brands, but everything you hear in this video is 100% my own take. No one is telling me what to say, so when I praise or complain about a feature, that's just my real experience after living with them. So by now you've got a rough idea of the pros and cons of each product. Next, I'm gonna give some recommendations based on my experience with my night cats. But before that, one thing you need to get straight. Buying an automatic litter box doesn't mean you don't have to deal with litter ever again. If that's what you are expecting, no matter which one you pick, you're gonna be disappointed. What the auto litter box does is handle the scooping for you, give you some feedback on your cat's bathroom habits, and maybe make your place smell a bit better. That's it. You still have to change the litter, add litter, throw out old litter, clean the box, but the frequency drops a lot. Alright, if you're still on board after that, let's continue. If you have multiple cats, 2 or more or larger cats like Maine Coon, I will go straight for home run pad. As a general rule, divide your cats by 2 or 3 to figure out how many boxes you need. Start with 1 and use it alongside your regular litter box to see if your cats actually adapt. In my experience, every cat has its own preference, so the first box is just a test. By tracking usage in the Home Run Pad app and checking your regular litter box, you can figure out what works. In my case, once my cats get used to the Home Run Pad and other automatic boxes, they hardly use the old box anymore. Eventually, I replace all of them with automatic ones. If you are a single cat household, both Home Run Pads and Catlink are solid picks. With Catlink, just consider if your cat likes to dig at the button because it can damage the litter bin. So that's it for today's video. If you found it useful, please drop a like and subscribe my channel. And I will see you in the next one.